we actually get to pick it up. Very sick. So we Deep-Cavern the Bat. We Deep-Cavern the Bat. And then we Legion this, which should take out the token as well. Very cool. This is one of the things I talk about when I talk about how I think this deck almost has an answer to everything. Because how often are you actually going to have an answer like this? Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to be playing Yawgmoth Bat. As you can see in the top corner, I did copy my deck list and started making some changes. Some of the ones right away, as you'll be able to tell. I believe 3 lilies. I don't think I had a Liliana in the deck at all prior. I'm playing 3 now. I think sometimes when you're playing against some of those mid-range piles, having Liliana in the back pocket is really good. And our bat can reanimate Liliana, as weird as that sounds, because this is a permanent card, even though oftentimes it is bringing back a creature. It is 3 mana non-land permanent, which 3 mana or less non-land permanent. So Liliana does fit that bill. At one of our matches, we have the potential to alt Liliana and then reanimate it with Zoraline during the combat, which is super sick, taking down one of the better decks in the format. And then we play a flanker. There's a lot of graveyard decks running around, so I wanted to have an answer to that. I know it's only one answer to that, which is kind of like, oh, look at you, one answer guy. But realistically, against some of them, just having this one bullet to kind of exile the graveyard once should buy us the time if we're using Liliana effectively, having Preachers attack effectively, and having things go our way a little there. And the other option too is we can also reanimate this if it gets removed, whether our opponent does it or we remove it with one of ours if we have to, and then reanimating it to kind of exile their graveyard again to buy us more time. Some of the things I did is I took out the -2/-2 harvester, the one that enters and gives everything -2/-2, and I also went down on a Beza, and I also trimmed down on an Aclazotz to kind of fit these cards in a little bit. And then I believe I trimmed a 2 mana card. I kind of like put some things in, took some things out, kind of opted to go around and try out this deck. The main focus of this bat build today is to try to get as much value off of Cosmos Color here. If you don't know what its ability does, or maybe you haven't been playing Standard too often, maybe this is your first look at it, this card is kind of the all-star of Burrow, and at least in my opinion. It has flying. Vigilance means it's a really good attacker and also can block on the back end, but it also can gain us some life here. Whenever a bat you control attacks, you gain 1 life. It does not specify another bat, so it counts itself, so then it kind of has like a little bit of life gain on there. But whenever it enters or attacks, a very strong kind of ability to put on a creature, you may pay white, black, and 2 life. But if it's attacking, it's 1 life in theory, because you gain the life and then you pay 2. Whenever you do, return target non-land permanent card with mana value 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Finality just means if it were to die or go to the graveyard, it just gets exiled instead. Sarah's Paragon is a example of that ability that we've had kind of in the past, or used in the past at least. But outside of that, we are just heavy on removal if we need to be. And the meta kind of calls for it. As you can kind of see, we have all these things. In season, you have to count this as a removal spell. This is our get out of jail free card. But just to go over a little bit quickly, we have 3 cutdowns, 4 go for the throats, a Pest Control as a board wipe. Sometimes it matters when you got people making a ton of tokens. Sometimes it doesn't matter. We just use this as a 2 mana draw. We have Liliana's minus, especially with the bat being able to reanimate Liliana. It's not often all that bad, because sometimes we minus, they kill it, and then we play this on turn 5, and then reanimate this and reminus again. Legions to exile things, which is very cool. And Virtue as well, to kind of just be our very top end as we start drawing cards off of things like Preacher or Gix if we have it in play, or Beza, which is very small draw, of course. But Preachers in general can often draw us a lot of cards and is worth considering whenever we have Virtue as kind of the in-game close card. And with the kind of adventure ability on there, we can use it early to get an extra card out of our hand, so Liliana's pluses aren't actually hurting us at all. And outside that, our closeout cards are Beza, sorta. This is more like a stabilization card. Sheoldred can kind of count as both of that spot because it's so devastating if it's allowed to attack. Virtual Loyalty to make a threat early, but then grow everything we have and make them absolutely insane. And then Aclazotz, kind of a stabilization and comeback card if we need it. So my thing I've always said about this deck is it always feels like you have an answer to pretty much any situation, as long as you kind of have the mana and it's not entirely lost. Like, obviously a lost game is a lost game. There's nothing you can do about it sometimes. But this deck always feels like you are just a top deck away from crawling out of any bad spot. And so we're going to go test that out today, see how well we can perform, and go try it. Also, by the way, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing. Kind of a longer intro, but I think this deck has a lot of neat stuff. That's what I wanted to say. That's all you get today. So if you all enjoy my content, please consider subscribing. Let's just hop out there and game. Opponent goes first. Our hand is like okay, maybe not the best. It's a good like recovery hand, that's for sure. Yep. You ain't getting nothing back from me, dude. I don't trust you. I play a prowess creature and they hit me with the hello, dude. Not my elo. Alright, please don't kill me, smile. So messed up that just like land plus slick shot could be lethal. Do nothing here. Okay. I'm gonna opt for the Deep-Cavern Bat here. Take a look at their hand, see if I can't maybe protect myself quite a bit. I might just have removal. Gains trample when this creature deals combat damage to player, destroy target artifact, or I take the one that's just a +2/0. Take that one. It also gives trample, right? Like, I don't believe that does. There's a slicky shot. Huh? Seven. Sure. Cut down's huge, actually. Although my draw is weird. Oh man, such an awkward spot. One card in the hand. I think I can go for an attack here. And then we can just see what happens. Maybe cut down to work. Sure. This is 2, 4, 5. Sure. That snapped through that, so I feel like I'm fine to remove something here. Alright, cool. That's a spell down. Got a land in your hand, man. You don't have to keep it, you know. You can get rid of it. I think I have to play Beza. Gain the life, put a 4/5 in front of him. Attack my 1/1. Go up to 14. Hopefully that stabilizes. Obviously the Ember Heart can cause a lot of problems. Second slick shot, huh? Sure. Pest Control not quite getting it done with old Pest Control. I have anything here? Not really. I guess I can just put a 3/3 in the way of these 1/2s. Then I can attack like this, which will technically give me like 2 life, so that puts me at 15. There's a slicky shot. There's a hero. Double block. Oh no. Rage attack. Rage attack. Attack. Turn him sideways. Too many creatures drawn. Not going to win a game like that where we are also kind of creature heavy and we start putting hindrances in the way. If all they draw is creatures, then they're pretty poor on their own. They need spells to support them. I mean, we'll see if we hit the land. This is a best 3 experience, you know, or best 1 experience, or best. I've seen a lot of Magic today, chat. Leave me alone. I watched a lot of Magic today. Well, that's a double maul from our opponent. So hopefully we hit the land and we just don't get suplexed. The way that they can win is by, you know, me not hitting lands is a possibility. I have plenty of expensive stuff in my deck that can cause that to happen for sure. Well, there's the Swiss Spear. Hit me for one. There's a Liliana. I play land. I pass. Sure. Uh-huh. They're gonna commit to this creature? Oh, sick, dude. They never commit to the creature. But, I mean, they did mull to 5, so they're a little bit more obligated to do so. But they're on a 1-lander. I'm on a 2-lander. So this is what I was talking about, where a maul can work out in their favor if it kind of turns out this way. But we get to play Zoraline now. Have a good time. Play Liliana if need be. Attacking with this is pretty solid. Just because it gains life and it has vigilance, so it doesn't actually tap it down to be aggressive with it. They find a second land. There's a slicky boy. The boy that ducks, dodges, and weaves. I don't have anything to pay for that, so we decline. We hit. Crack. I think I just hold up cut down. Actually, do I even have to hold up cut down? I think I just start Lilianaing. I know that seems weird, but hitting their hand in a spot like this seems so good. Oh, season's so good. Well, if that's the case, I should get rid of the Zoraline, right? The season's really good at reanimating as long as I hit lands, but there comes one of their spells. Kind of what I was talking about. Now they hit a land. Now these are 3 spells most likely. I think they have to be spells. They attack, I block. You go after Lily? You have a Witch Stalker Frenzy? Still blocking. And now Lily can minus, unless they give this thing trample and enough power to get through. And if they do that, then I could still potentially minus. But this takes all their resources as well, right? So we get to do kind of what we want. This, yeah. So both of those are answered. They kind of got what they wanted out of it. They got to answer both things. And I guess this last thing could also be a spell. So I'm just going to Legions this. Because we know that they missed a land drop at some point. So they probably played every land drop they've found thus far. Can I find a land? No. Okay. One. Oh, I resolved. Well, we hit a land, chat. If we hit a land, the game's like over on the spot. If we don't hit a land, we're going to slowly die. All right. We do this. Now we can play one of two things. I think with I guess being this close on life total. I know I'm at 15 and have 1 card. I can probably just play Beza, gain the life, and put equally as big of a 4/5 in front. Then we'll just call it a day from there. Look to play the Sheoldred. If I draw a land, I'm probably playing Aclazotz. There's a land. Could be possible our last card's dead. This doesn't really do anything. I don't know what it would be, but sure, we win that game. Pretty close regardless. I know it doesn't seem that close, but if they hit a couple spells instead of a couple lands there, like whenever they were stuck on 2, if they just all would have been spells on the draws, instead of hitting a couple lands in a row, we would have been in trouble because we missed so many lands, but come away with it. Very cool. All right, we go first. We'll keep here. I'll play Fable Passage. It's weird. Sometimes you don't want to play Fable Passage if you need a land drop, right? Because you want to keep as many lands in your deck as possible. Like trying to technically like dragging a land out here is worse for my chances of hitting one. We'll play another land. Call it a day. You have a flanker. There could be a play in the future where we cut down like a mosswood, and then we can flank our eggs out of the graveyard if we want to get rid of it permanently, if we think its value's too high. But in that case, we'd probably just legion it, right? And its talent. Hot down, I guess. Oh, thankfully we hit that land. Very nice. Turn. Probably opt to play this Scry 2. Try to make sure we are hitting our land drops throughout the game. Liliana. Sure.
This is my home, and I don't appreciate it when people touch my
Send. I will Scry 2 game 2. Don't really need either of those. Although Deep-Cavern Bat's not the worst. Sure. Still on that plan.
Don't overthink things.
What do I want to get rid of? Go for the third, I suppose. Oh, we drew the Deep-Cavern Bat anyway. So let's look to take their card away. Whatever removal they might have. Cut down Vraska, Ashiok, missing a land on both, so I take the cut down. So they're the combo deck. Just haven't found the combo piece. Land. 2 cards in their hand. Still not castable, but not like I have a whole lot of options to get rid of those things. Now they can plus. I have to get rid of Aclazotz. This is not castable within 2 turns. I get rid of a Vraska. Interesting. I bet. Dome. There. Okay. Well, we get rid of that.
It's no fun when
Ashiok in -2. Look, exile. So if that's the case, I just opt to play this. Could have played this like pre-combat to gain a little more life if I need to, but we are at 21. I don't think life total in general is going to be what matters. And with our opponent conceding, nothing matters, and we're perfectly fine. So we'll call it a day. We go first. We have a Deep-Cavern Bat, Preacher, and Sheoldred. I mean, yeah, like seems like a great curve to have. Oh, dude, all these mono red players, somebody put them to bed, please. They're up late night. They're all cranky. They just want to win so bad. My heart thing, Urbras Forge. I don't really care about the Forge. I'll just take their creature. That's absurd that they didn't play on turn 1. Because, I don't know, man. They're mono red and they were just hoping to big brain with it, I guess. I'll attack. Mono red does that sometimes. They're like, look, I got the plan, right? I'm not gonna play it on turn 1 because then what if it dies? It's like, okay, I'll take it with the Deep-Cavern Bat. Play your Godric, man. Or remove my Preacher. Or play your Urbras Forge. Do whatever you gotta do. Sure. I'll block. Alright. Cool. Oh, Beza's sick. Play Fable Passage here. Now, their Godric can get flying. That is something I do have to worry about. But, to be honest with you, I'm going to play Sheoldred and hope that's enough. Activate, we draw, we take 1. But then we gain 2, down to 16. They'll draw for their turn. They'll take 2 more. And then they can do like a lot of damage, but without a slick shot and plot, like that damage is significantly less. There's Godric, sure. Now this like Urbras Forge can come in, give Godric flying. Hit me for 4, that's fine. Fine, my dude. That's super fine. As long as I also stop drawing land. Okay, cool. See, man, they won't even play it. I'm just kidding, bro. I'm a little loopy, man. I've been up for a real long time. I think I got the smallest hand. All right. What about if I get the exact same hand? All right, throw that away. Okay. I didn't know what land that was. It's so hard to tell on some of these. Train just left the station. Get a planes. We have a cave for double black or double white if we need it. Amalia. Okay. Okay. Maybe there's a more important creature, but I doubt it gonna interact with this. Better not. Might as well not take 5, right? And a lot of creatures you'll go ahead and you'll just take the damage just to see. But with paying 3 life and then having to remove the Amalia, I'd rather not pay 5 life. Do so. There's Zoraline. Sure, we'll exile that thing. With ooh. I think it's just Lily minus. That's actually way more tempo, which is nice. Minus here. That means if they play a second one, they still won't have the mana to do it, and then we can exile that one. Deep-Cavern Bat. What do you mean, bruh? I have to assume Beza. Oh, no? Okay. I thought it was going to be Beza. Beza draws me a card and everything here, but I get, like, taking my removal, I suppose. Well. Well, I'll draw my card first, I suppose, right? Like, cause I draw a land here, which would be worse. And I went first, so they didn't miss a land drop. Cut down? What you mean cut down, bro? You're so much better, I think, than Flanker. This Flanker, I'm just here to do like a cute trick with Zoraline. Or did they miss a land drop? I don't know. Sure. That does damage. That makes contact. Now if it's like... No. Parts are good. So good for them. But we actually get to pick it up. Very sick. So we Deep-Cavern the Bat. We Deep-Cavern the Bat. And then we Legion this, which should take out the token as well. Very cool. Who's a combat hit for 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Who do we appreciate? Get rid of this Lily. Our preacher's good. I like it. Oh, bat. Is that last one a bat then? Land Beza. They're pretty solid. Ooh, that's also good. That is also good. There's a card that can get them back in the game. It's that one, that's for sure. Let's play this. Cave can go away. So sick of seeing lands now. We'll play this one. I'll move to combat. We'll see if they block, because then I might minus, depending. Augurs don't do anything if my opponent draws lands, which would kind of suck. Because if they draw stuff, I kind of want it to be painful. That's the case. All right. All right. Well, it doesn't do anything. Play a dual land that enters tapped as your last card. That was a really good augur, by the way. And they answer my Liliana. But I am swinging for a lot, so it's kind of...
That's my cue to leave.
Sure, a Death Toucher. I do think I have to attack, though. I don't think I can wait. Sure. Get rid of one of them so they get way less draws here. Now I'll play this thing. Obviously I could bump my creature next turn, but or I just have the creature. Ooh, that's a good draw. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, you pay it? Are you gonna attack to gain life? Here's the problem. I mean, you have to bring back your Death Toucher, right? Amalia. So attack, gain a life, trigger Amalia, gain life. We might get out life valued here. Drawing lands will do that. The second augur from our opponent was really, really good too. That doesn't help a lot. Attack with this Death Toucher, trigger it. Go for the throat, huge. Obviously they don't know about go for the throat. Sure. Play Preacher. Guess I can see what they draw. Too bad. Oh yeah, we knew it was gonna be 2 on top, right? We knew that. Yeah, chat. Sure. Yeah. Thing gone. There's no pause there. We'll wait till they declared attackers, but I don't think outside of just this guy they're attacking much. Although I'd probably hold it back hoping to trade it. Being at 3? Yeah. It lost pretty good card to leave on top. That's guaranteed 2 damage though. Do I have anything? I can Liliana minus? Is it creature or permanent? Then they have the auger. I could exile. And they have to kind of block anyway, right? We can kind of see what happens. Interesting play here. Let's move to combat. I'm gonna attack with just my death touchers. Kind of a bad card to draw. Okay. So 1-2. Malia goes away. That's 2 damage on top, so I'm not too worried about it. I could bring back Lily and minus Lily. I do want to cycle this though first. Ew, gross. Land play. Although, how do they beat if I make like all the bunnies, right? Like if I'm just Cassis, make 3 bunnies, bring back like a Lily plus on their hand, maybe. Only 2 bunnies. I can exile both things in play and they get a get lost, I suppose. Or I can just exile this thing. They'll draw a get lost and then shoot something, but then I can also bring back my indestructible creature, which would, or Lily. But then they don't get a chance to respawn. Lily be in play, and then Lily can minus on this. And then they have a get lost and I have kind of lethal, but then I'm out of gas. Yeah, it's such a weird choice. Exile, return. Pretty sold on this play. And then I'll just return. Although flanker's pretty good, but I think having a 2/4 indestructible creature is also really sick. Now they can obviously be mana efficient here and get lost my preacher, which I kind of recommend, but that one has indestructible. They obviously could play Legion and exile my preacher, which is kind of one of the reasons why I was like, I wanted to bring back a Lily and get the creatures off the board, because Legion can exile preacher still. Amalia, sure, gain life, trigger Amalia. On top is a Lunar Conviction to make bats and stuff. They gain life, lose life, etc., so on and so forth. Now this preacher again is indestructible, so alright. I do bet. Get in there. Land, not really what I wanted. Take a hit. Do this. Cast this. Do this. Get rid of that land, please. Tap. Throw. Now, Molly has some work to do. It can technically take damage here on purpose. Okay. Didn't mean you had to do it that way. Case is pretty sick. You have a 1-mana creature. We might have just done it, chat. Might have just done it. There's a land. Tragic. I don't know if they're gonna make me do. Obviously, you're gonna make me attack you, but sweet. We get it. Looked very dicey there for a minute. I don't know if our decision on the season was technically the correct play. But But I kind of liked bringing back an indestructible preacher because then it doesn't matter how big Amalia gets. Even if Amalia's final ability is triggered, my preacher's still there. The only card I was worried about them having, though, was one of these, which is Exile. So it does obviously get around our indestructible clause because it's only for destroy effects. But anyway, we get there. Very cool. I go first as my hand. Sure, I guess. Honestly, hopefully we kind of hit a land here. Know how that thing can be. We obviously want it for the Liliana. Golgari it is. Probably looking to cycle this Pest Control against this match. I would like to... Let's Deep-Cavern Bat first. I don't know if Pest Control is good or bad here. I would assume it's got to be bad. Do go for the throats. I would just not let them use their virtue for free. Make them use one of their hard removal spells. Like, obviously, Sheoldred can't get hit with this go for the throat. Didn't matter. Pest Control didn't do much. Zoraline's obviously good. I'm going to cycle this because I got nothing going on here. See if I hit a land that's untapped. And I do. I'll play the Fountainport here. Then I'll go for the throat my bat, probably. 1 damage matters in these matchups whenever it comes to, like, preachers and whatnot. But most likely I'm going to see a land in a Gissa here. Or Glissa. Glissa? You mean it? I'm going minus. That thing off the battlefield. And then this card doesn't have the value. The problem is I don't really want to bring Zoraline back unless I'm also reanimating the bat. Technically, I can just wait on this Fable Passage. I want to draw another land, so I'm just going to hold it and kind of practice what I've been preaching here. Is this a pump? It is. Okay. My turn? Oh, we missed there, but can't win them all, you know? A plus. Get rid of Liliana, I suppose.
We all have things we'd rather.
Get rid of Virtue. Activate this ability. Or activate my land ability, you know, the good one. And I have a Deep-Cavern Bat. Should I be mana efficient, probably, and just like pop off the Sheoldred? Sheoldred's like more of a nuisance, I think. So let's do it. Zoraline, like, weirdly is more scary because it hasn't been around near as long, but Sheoldred also just demands answers whenever it's applicable. And then playing a go for the throat right now means Innkeeper can't plus up to be a can't go all the way up, so that's very positive for us. But here I'll plus. I'm gonna get rid of my go for the throat.
You won't be outsmarting me.
Second Innkeeper, sure. Here comes Zoraline. Then I can always season the Burrow, bring it back with Indestructible, and then exile the Innkeeper's talent. I think we've already seen 2, I guess. Yeah, I got no activation there. They can obviously go for the throat Zoraline if that's their play. But then obviously he's starting to make Liliana stronger. And if they definitely put this, if they do nothing on a turn and they go for the Innkeeper on 4, we have to remove it. And then I will bring Zoraline back with Indestructible, and it should be super strong in this match. Yeah. Well, a land would have been sick because obviously I want to plus Lily here. But this is one of the things I talk about when I talk about how I think this deck almost has an answer to everything. Because how often are you actually going to have an answer like this? Like a random enchantment. Obviously green has like Terra Thunder, for example, but now we got that. And I'll let the flanker go. I can always reanimate it now with Zoraline. And Zoraline has Indestructible. And there's the Vraska. So obviously a good plan for us to get that off the battlefield. Second Innkeeper's talent. They had to choose before maybe they drew, so maybe they drew that Innkeeper's talent. Now they take another draw. They're going incredibly hard for that now. So now I can attack. I can Deep-Cavern Bat them. Let my Liliana go. So I want to have the choice first, because if there's another land in hand, I'm going to feel really awkward about this Zoraline. So I'll do the Deep-Cavern Bat here. I'll take a look. Both Deep-Cavern Bats, sure. Zoraline will make contact. Oh, plus Liliana. Get the last card in hand. And then also the thing about Zoraline being the indestructible creature is I get to kind of hold it back as a blocker permanently against something like a Moss would. And with these two, I'll definitely double block. Like, I'm not that opposed to it. Well, Virtue's weird. Good Terra Sunder, I guess. Opt for the plus. Don't really need the Virtue right now. Sure, I guess. That's interesting. Now you lose the bat. I feel like you get, I don't know, man.
Drop it.
Attack. This. Gain life. Bring in a flanker. They have anything to bring anything back from the graveyard? I obviously Virtue, but they're nowhere close, right? I will try to gain 2. Creature seems fine, I suppose, if I had to pick one of those top deck options. And then there's a Liliana play about the ult that I will then also bring back with Zoraline here. Sure. Yeah, I was gonna say, 1, I have lethal in play. 2, the devastating part about next turn, most of the time when you have a Liliana in play, you're like, man, I never want to ult Liliana because she's now gone, right? So like the advantage of Liliana is getting her hands down to nothing, ulting it, taking everything away. But then if you maybe mess up the pile, but obviously we're going to talk about optimal play. Realistically here, I'm putting this Innkeeper talent in one pile with 1 land and leaving them like 3 lands on the side. So I get rid of this and a land. They're stuck on 3. But having a Liliana around to keep plussing on their hand, not letting them build up resources because now they play Glissa and it's troublesome, whatever. But with Zoraline, I just bring back Liliana and then plus after, right? So it just gets super hard for them to beat, almost unbeatable, in fact. So come away with the win. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, here we are again. I think I end up having 1 loss, and it came to not drawing a land. Is what it is. I kept a 2-lander, I think. And then I never drew another one and just sat there and died over a couple of turns. Other than that, when we actually had games and decisions to make, we end up coming out on top, which is very nice. A card in here that I actually enjoyed. I did switch a couple things up from before, so obviously it's a little bit like a fresher look at the deck, not the exact same 60 I was running the first time around. But a card I actually enjoyed, right, is the Flanker. I know there's a couple of graveyard decks, so having this as a backup option to exile cards in graveyards, loading up on Liliana's in this version of the build, I didn't necessarily have too many of it. I loaded up on 3 slots a lot more and really tried to push my value off of this card or options with Season of the Burrow. But we got rid of a Harvester, I got rid of an Aclazotz, I believe, and I got rid of 1 Beza. I like this card a ton, but I just wanted more value off this is all. And the turns that we can kind of bring it back with the Season or bring something else back with the Season, it's just like good enough. It always feels good. And then obviously having more options. For example, say we run into a graveyard strategy deck, having a flanker come in and then like removing it ourselves or something and then attacking with this and then re-exiling their graveyard if needed or something like that. It's just a nice play for us to buy time while we close out the game. But yeah, just prioritizing our bat value is what I really focus on in today's deck. But with that said, I don't really have a whole lot of time. I got to work at 9. I left work at 9. It's currently 11 and filming and getting ready to do all this. And I got to be back there at 9. So with that said, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching and goodbye.